Hello and welcome, dear gentle viewers of YouTube World. This is Amrita Sinha, an occupational therapist and life coach in training. I'm here for my 75 soft check in, and this is my day 18. Yesterday, I'd accidentally said day 16, but it was day 17 actually. I'm happy to report that all the challenges are going on track. And if you have never heard from me and this is the first time I've landed on your feed, then 75 soft is a variation of 75 hard, which is a tactical mindset. Personal transformation challenge created by Andy Frisella. Details of the framework are in my description box with the links if you want to inform yourself. And my kind of showing up here is a bit of personal check in, accountability, and also a social experiment around exploring content creation and YouTube world and connecting with wider audience and people who might find commonalities between what my views, thoughts, and values that I present here and would like to connect either in formal or informal capacities. Um, so, having said that, what I do is I come here, I give a little bit of context on my reasons for being here. I give an update on my 75 soft challenges, which is five challenges of hydration, nutrition, meditation, exercise, and reading 10 pages of personal development or a nonfiction book. Day 18, and my biggest challenge is to stay off alcohol for 75 days. Um, as I was finding that I was using alcohol, and I have historically always used food as an emotional crutch, and if it is not food, then it has become alcohol as an emotional crutch. So, kind of unpacking that space is if I'm not numbing, then what am I experiencing and processing, and what unfolds. So bit of space to explore that for myself and share it with you wonderful viewers. And if anything lands for you and you identify with it on a personal or professional level, connect with me, like and subscribe as you would do. Also, there's a bell icon for notification if you want to stay up to date with future episodes. um, so as part of that, I'm happy to report that I am sticking with my no alcohol. I'm eating relatively well. Um, I have hydration is on point. Today is my rest day for exercise, and that is the beauty of this framework of 75 soft. Is it is a more compassionate and flexible framework. It lets you individualize your challenge, and it gives you one rest day. And as I've mentioned in my previous episodes, I do have health conditions of arthritis and fibromyalgia, which make it much harder for me to exercise and sustain certain levels of physical activity. While some physical activity and movement is absolutely a must for me to stay mobile and stay well and healthy, it easily kind of moves into overdoing zone. And that can be impacted by a lot of other factors of stress, of hormones, of demands of everyday life, um, um, to just tip the balance in the wrong direction. So, and that has been a contributing factor to my journey till date as well, because it has changed the way I show up in my in life. It has impacted the things that I could do. I went from being able to train for a triathlon to being in a wheelchair, and it completely flipped how I saw myself, and it has taken me a long time um, to be okay with that. And I guess I'm still it's an ongoing journey in that sense. So right now, the book that I'm reading is more about becoming a business money magnet, and I see myself as an entrepreneur or a solopreneur at this stage, a businesswoman, as I've transitioned from a 9 to 5 job into running my own private practice as an occupational therapist, and now expanding into coaching space and digital products and digital content creation. And the book has been um, interesting and kind of redirecting to a lot of other things and aspects that I've learned at different points in time. So yesterday I mentioned about the um, money types and what is your money type, and I included a link, and also what our money story is, because mindset is underlying everything. As I mentioned yesterday, is what we see on the outside in terms of money, physical things, acquisitions that we have, physical expressions of our body and how we look and how we show up in our physical body are all expression of the mindset and the actions that this mindset influences. So, mindset is a big component of any sustainable change, but the hardest possibly to impact. And I think it needs to be a constant toggle where you work on practical, superficial, kind of more objective tasks on the outside, so doing, and then you kind of toggle into more introspection, more self reflection, and processing, and internal kind of processing of. Thinking and belief systems. And a lot of times, this is a lot of subconscious belief systems, and it is not one day. And that brings up the limiting beliefs that we all struggle with, that we all have, that holds us back. And it's been interesting is I've been doing personal development work for a fair while now. I would say easily 8 10 years now, and I've kind of had different degrees of successes, and I think I grow a little bit more every time I have an exposure with a certain type of coach or a certain type of training program. It gives me a little nugget and helps me grow a little bit as an individual. But I think an important component is also knowing what are you working towards, is what is your goal, what does success look like for you. And that is what this book is asking the questions, is what does success look like for you in 12 months time or in 3 months time. And in more practical terms, it's talking about financial planning. So once you've done your money type and understood your money story, or become aware of your money story, because it might be first time you're hearing these words, and first time you're kind of reflecting on those. So again, I've put some links in there to help you reflect on some of those things, and start considering those things for you. Is where do you want to see yourself, and what is your mindset? Is your mindset a growth mindset, or is it a fixed mindset? Is fear driving your decisions, or are you able to see failure and risk, and see them as instruments of growth, and instruments that you can leverage and generate responsibility, generate opportunity. um, and that brings us back to kind of thinking about the practical side of things. So right now, what the chapter that I'm on is called financial goal planning, and the author talks about doing a 3 monthly financial goal planning, and practically looking at is what do you want to achieve in 3 months time, and what would your action be around it. So looking at putting some kind of concrete goals. And I think that's really valuable. It was a very valuable reminder, because as business owners, we don't have a boss on our head. It's really nobody's cracking the whip. It's when the money dries up and when bills start piling up, then the stress starts building up. So there's an always a financial impact of you not taking action or you taking action. So the responsibility solely lies on you, as the business owner. So if you are in that boat, um, these are some of the questions to think about, and how do you do your financial planning, and how do you create a winning financial plan. That is something, the task in the book, and that's something I have to reflect on today, and I'll report back tomorrow on what kind of came up for me, both in terms of what is my money type, what is my money story, and what is my financial plan. So over the next few days, I will share some of my kind of reflections on in this space. And if I have just popped on your feed, thank you so much for spending the last 10 minutes with me. And if anything I've said lands with you, please like and subscribe. Look back at my videos, familiarize yourself with my content, and engage with me if you think there's anything worth connecting. Well, until then, take care and goodbye.